The question is, in the Holy Quran it says, "So set thy face to the service of religion as one devoted to God, and follow the nature in which He has created mankind. There is no altering the creation of Allah." What is this nature of God?
First of all, this translation does not present the real verse in a manner that the question which you have raised relates to it. The way it is translated, the question doesn't arise. And I personally do not agree entirely with this translation. This is a meaning, of course. The translator has not done anything wrong, but this is not the entire meaning of the verse. The major meaning, the most important thing is that literally it says God has created man after his nature, his own nature. Now the support to this is given by the Old New Testament as well, where in New Testament we find that God has created man in his own image. So this translation was simple, plain, and the original, real translation. And other meaning also can be attributed to this. I mean, it's not wrong. But leaving the most important and turning to the other is perhaps not advisable. But it has been done with a good purpose. I know, because they want to avoid this question which you have raised. They want to solve it before it was raised. The intentions were not bad. The intention was that if we translate it exactly as it stands, then people will think that man and God have twin natures. Their nature is exactly alike. And then every man would appear to be a God. And non-Muslims in particular have a point there to object against Islam. All right, it is as man behaves, so does God. You know, that sort of thing. But this is not a valid objection. I'm going to explain. Even if we translate it literally, still this objection is not valid, and I'll tell you the real meaning of this after the translation. Now, it's an accepted principle that in the Quran yashuddu ba'duhu ba'da. So we must find a similar verse in the Quran which will help us understand the meaning and remove the difficulty. And this is Sibghata وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ مِنَ اللَّهِ سِبْغَةً. What does it mean? It in fact refers to the same subject, that God has a character, God has an attitude, and God requires man to follow Him in his character and his attitudes. That is the purpose of worship. That is the purpose of creation. So, in this meaning, God has made man after his own nature. If God had not been given the quality to follow God, God had not given quality to man to follow Him, then how could He require him to follow Him? So this is the meaning of nature of God, that part of God's characteristics which are imitable for man, and in that respect man can become a reflection of God. And when you understand the meaning, then you understand also the meaning of Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam being Allah's Noor. Man cannot be God's Noor, but only through reflection. So it was He who demonstrated to the world that God has granted in man the quality to imitate God and to behave like God would have behaved on earth. And if He had not given that character, was not provided that character, this is God's character, how could He have done it? So this subject is further supported by the declaration that kullu mawludin yuladu alal fitrati, and this is the fitrat Allah. So they're all innocent. They're born after the nature of God. They're harmless. They're good, innocent people. Whether they're born to Christians or Jews or Muslims, they're all the same. فَأَبَوَاهُ يُهَوِّدَانِهِ وَيُنَصِّرَانِهِ. They change them against their nature, which is the nature of God. So it's a beautiful compliment to God and also a warning. God has given you a wonderful start. He has created you after Himself. There was nothing bad in you when you came into the world. So if you have twisted yourself into ugly things, it's your responsibility. So this is the meaning of that verse, that God has created man after His own nature. And this also means that man has that contact point of commonality with God. You know, birds of the same, of a feather flock together. Now, if you do not have any commonality with God, how could you seek His nearness? You know, an insect cannot fall in love with light, although it seems to give life for the sake of light, but it's not love. An animal cannot fall in love with man as we understand the meaning of love. So there is no commonality. But if there was nothing common between man and God, then how could man seek nearness to Allah and actually fall in love with Him like he never falls in love with anybody else? That requires commonality of character. Without it you cannot love. If somebody is contrary to you, you can't love him. If you are kind and he is very, very short-tempered and misbehaved, fine, arrogant, and so on, how can you fall in love with such a person? So more he is like you, the more likelihood there is of you falling in love with him. So that is something which even the Kuffar of Makkah did not miss. You see, the verdict they gave about Muhammad was Ashikha Muhammadur Rabbah. That shows that they stood witness to it, that he was like God, in as much as man can be. Right?